Hello, ladies and gents, and welcome to today's session of Every Mark Matters. Today we are having a little look at Edexcel History, Paper 2, Anglo-Saxon and Norman England. And our question of the day is simple. Explain why William harried the North. So let's just begin with breaking up our question and have a look at the command phrase. In this instance, our command phrase is explain why. That means you must present 3 reasons and explain them. Our next element of this question is the focus. So let's have a quick look here. And our focus is why William harried the North. So first and foremost, I tell you what, before we pause and start thinking about reasons why William harried the North, let's just define what that means. The term harry is to destroy. So realistically, the question is actually, why did William destroy the North in 1069? So I tell you what, press pause. I'll see you in a little minute, just where we've got our focus annotated with what we know about the reasons why William harried the North. Ladies and gents, I'll see you in a minute. Go for it now. Okay, right, so welcome back. Right, so here's what we're going to do now. We're going to annotate the word focus with our knowledge about reasons why William harried the North. So I think the first and most important reason is, firstly, because of the death of Robert Cumin. Robert Cumin and 900 Normans are killed in Durham. This is entirely because the Northerners, remember, they love this, they live in this culture of Danelaw, and they're sick of the Normans coming in and exerting their rule over the Northerners. And Robert Cumin is the Earl of Northumbria by this point, and he gets murdered by the Anglo-Saxons. Right, let's think about other reasons. Well, again, because this whole area is ruled in Danelaw, it's to prevent Viking invasions. And with that in mind, we've got to remember that the North has historic ties to the Vikings. It's got really good farming lands. And it's got a great climate for farming. It's got lots of resources. And more importantly, we know that in September 1069, King Sweyn II tries to invade. And then if we're thinking about other reasons why he did it, well, firstly, you know, if you're a Northerner after 1069, he's just destroyed the entire area. You're not going to do it again, are you? So one reason why he did it is to act as a deterrence. Deterrence is when you're preventing something else from happening. So it stops future rebellions. If we want, I've not left a great deal of space for this, but if we want to just add in basic facts, just specifically about the harrying of the North, 75% of the population died. That's 100,000 people. Remember, he poured salt into the field, didn't he? People were so hungry they were forced to eat actual other humans. Right, okay, finally. So we've done the command phrase, we've had a look at the focus. Let's have a look at the second order concept. And in this question, it's actually quite hard to identify, but our second order concepts. In this instance is causation. So you are looking for the reasons why he did it. So you don't want to talk about the consequences, you want to talk about why he did it. Okay? So it is, why did he harry? I know that sounds really, really simple, but lots of people will read through this question and will just talk about what happened as a result. They won't present the reasons why he did it. Okay? And again, we've technically just done all of that, haven't we? But phrases that we could use when we're looking at causation could be, this led to, as a result, and this meant that. Okay? Our question is a 12-mark question. So what that means, I'm going to struggle to squeeze this in. What that means you must do is you must do 15 minutes and you must write 3 paragraphs. If we were to have a look at a quick success criteria, this question is dead easy to get full marks, so we are going to go for full marks. You are assessed in AO1, that is your knowledge, and your AO2, that is your explanation. And we are going for level 3 and level 4. Just to clarify, level 3 is not a grade 3 and level 4 is not a grade 4. If you are a student that is regularly getting level 3s across all of your exam questions, you are knocking on the door of around 5, 6, 7s. If you're a student that's consistently getting level 4s, what you're doing is you're going for 8s and 9s. So let's go and have a look at how we can get full marks for this question. So to begin with, let's go with 2 facts per paragraph. Level 4 is 2 precise facts per para. Explanation for level 3 is simple, it's 2 sentences per paragraph. And that is basically your how and why. Level 4 is 3 sentences per paragraph. And that is how, why, so what. And I'll just define what that means. Okay? So if we're going for how, why, so what, so let me define what that is. How, why, so what. Okay, so how, let's just say we're talking about preventing Viking invasions. So how did the harrying prevent Viking invasions? Why did harrying prevent Viking invasions? And so what is actually difficult, but is actually, in this context with the causation questions, it's actually really easy to do. So you can either go, why is it important? Or what you could do is you could go long-term impact. And why? Right, ladies and gents, I am going to leave you for 15 minutes. You are going to give me 3 paragraphs explaining why William harried the North. We are going to go for 12 marks. Let's go for it. I will see you shortly. Press pause, consider the success criteria that we've created, and I will see you very shortly. Okay, right, welcome back. So I'm hoping there that you have spent 15 minutes explaining why William harried the North in 1069. What I'm going to do is I'm going to read through my answer and I'm going to self-assess as I go through it. What I would like you to do is I would like you to do the same. So I'm going to be using the terms AO1 and AO2 all the way. Alright, again, I'm going for level 4, we're going for 12 marks. So I'm going to refer to how, why, so what, and what I'm looking for precise facts. And if I find a precise fact, what I might do is I might put AO1 plus. Okay, right, let's go. So I'm very conscious of my young handwriting, so I'm going to read it out to you. One reason why William harried the North in 1069 was for revenge. There's my AO2. I've presented my first reason. Okay. For example, Anglo-Saxon resistance murdered Robert Cumin and 900 Normans in Durham as they were angered by Northern authority over Danelaw. So firstly, AO1 plus, AO1, AO1. So there's my first facts. I also know that this inspired support for Edwin and Morcar's rebellion in 1068, as well as Edgar Etheling's rebellion in 1069. This led to the harrying of the North, as William needed to punish the resistance and take revenge for the death of his close peer. As a result of the brutality of the harrying of the North, as a result of the event, the harrying of the North served the purpose of scaring the North into submission and accept William as its ruler. This submission ended rebellions in the North and support for Danelaw in 1069, which culminated in Anglo-Saxon support for William in the revolt of the Earls, as the Northern Anglo-Saxons were too scared, and missing out an O there, too scared to challenge William again. So there's a lot of explanation there. So you'll notice I also know that. So I've used for example, to demonstrate my knowledge. I also know that. That demonstrates my second fact. So you can see there's my second fact there. So I've got two precise facts per paragraph. Let me have a look at my explanation. This led to the harrying of the North, as William needed to punish the North. There is my how. So how did revenge lead to the harrying of the North? Well, he needed to punish the resistance for the death of his close peer. Why did it lead to... why did the harrying of the North lead to revenge? As a result of the brutality of the event. Here's my why. And the submission ended the rebellions in the North, and support for Danelaw ended in 1069, which culminated in Anglo-Saxon support for William in the revolt of the Earls in 1075, as the Northern Anglo-Saxons were too scared to challenge William again. And again, here is my so what. So I've said how it led to the harrying of the North, why it led to the harrying of the North, and so what is special about the harrying of the North, and how did it help, how did revenge help him in the long term. So there's my first paragraph. Let's go on to my second one. Another reason why William harried the North in 1069 was to end the threat of Viking invasion. Right, there's my AO2. So presenting my reason, it is the threat of Viking invasion. From my own knowledge, I know that the Vikings traditionally invaded the North and had historic ties with the North, leading to Danelaw. Additionally, King Sweyn II gathered an invasion fleet in 1069 and planned to invade and lead a rebellion in the North against William. Right, so again, here's my AO1. Here's my AO1. And more of my AO1. So I've got two precise facts. My first fact is about the historic ties in the North. My second fact is about King Sweyn II's invasion. This led to the harrying of the North, as he needed to reduce or remove the incentive for the Vikings to invade. So again, here is my how. The north had a good climate and good farming land for crops. Therefore, love therefore as an explanation phrase, William destroyed the farming land to stop the Vikings from needing to invade. The harrying of the north marked the end of Viking influence in the north and acts as a deterrent for all future Viking invasions. Here is my why. Here is my why. And there's my so what. How did it lead to preventing future Viking invasions? Well, it removed the incentive. Why did it do that? Well, what happened is there was nothing for them to take from the Northerners, nothing for them to loot or plunder from the Northerners because William had destroyed it all, and therefore it removed the need from them needing to invade. And then finally, it acted as a deterrent, as in, if you come here, all I'm going to do is I'm just going to burn down the fields, and it creates this climate of fear. And then finally, my final paragraph. A final reason why William harried the north in 1069 was to act as a deterrent for future invasions. So there's my AO2. I know that. Look at this here. I know that. That's a great way to demonstrate your knowledge. You know, here's my point. I'm about to demonstrate my evidence. I know that William's victory at Hastings... after William's victory at Hastings, William faced lots of Anglo-Saxon resistance because they refused to accept his rule, disliked Motte and Bailey castles, and hoped to replace William with Edgar at Effeling. Right, so there's my first piece of evidence within this paragraph. I also know that the harrying of the north led to the deaths of 100,000 people, or 75% of the population, with the survivors being forced to eat human flesh in order to survive. Right, so loads of knowledge here. This would deter or prevent future rebellions, as the horrors of the harrying of the north would scare the Anglo-Saxons from rebelling, as they would be fearful of the consequences. There's my how. As a result, Anglo-Saxon resistance mostly ended. I've used the word mostly because there is more resistance in 1071, but it's just not in the north. As a result, Anglo-Saxon resistance mostly ended after 1069, as that should be they submitted to William's rule through fear. Devastation as a deterrent was important for William, as the fear would not only be held by Northerners but all Anglo-Saxons. So there, I've tried to squeeze this all onto one page. There is my why, and here is my so what. So if I go straight back to my success criteria here, right, have I got two facts per paragraph? Yes, I have in all three paras. Have I got two precise facts? I think I have, but I think there's maybe a little bit more to work on here. You know, I've not mentioned, if I'm thinking about King Sweyn's invasion from my second paragraph, I've not said how many ships. I've not mentioned anything really. I've only inferred or referred to Edgar Effeling's rebellion and Edwin and Morcar's rebellion. I've not brought in a great deal of precise knowledge, but it's not too bad. Have I got two sentences of explanation per paragraph? Yes, I have in all three. Have I got how, why, so what in all three? Yes, I have indeed. So in which case then what I would do is I would mark this answer is AO1. I would call it a level 4. And I'm tempted just to put it as a minus, just because I've not got enough precise facts in my view about Edwin and Morcar's rebellion, Edgar Effeling's rebellion, and so on. AO2, level 4. So in which case then, what this would be out of 12, this would probably be maybe an 11. Maybe a harsh examiner might put it as a 10. How do I get it up to the 12? Well, I think it's here, maybe with some more precise knowledge. Actually, what happened in the rebellions? I think we could also add in here about, you know, again, what happened in the rebellions. Just another sentence of a description. But that's 15 minutes, that's 3 paragraphs, and it's 11 out of 12. That's pretty good, that. And again, a kind examiner would probably give you 12 out of 12. Ladies and gents, self-assess your own work, and I'll see you next time. Thank you very much. Take care.